live in stories. We live in the story we tell ourselves about who we are, what we're capable of, what we're not capable of, and how we choose to interpret the experiences we have in life. We can give them empowering meanings or we can give them disempowering meanings. So that communication, those words that will first start as thoughts in our heads, which become the words that come out of our mouth, which becomes our actions, becomes our habits, which create our life. So when we learn how to better communicate with ourselves, and instead of tearing ourselves down and thinking less of ourselves, and we start to build ourselves up, then it opens a way for our gifts to come out and for us to live a more meaningful and fulfilled and happy life. And isn't that what everybody wants?
Wow. Welcome to the Magic Hour, filmed here at SoBou in the French Quarter, whose motto is where life is meant to be lived, not endured. Our special guest today is Havilah Malone, who I met during New Orleans Entrepreneur Week. Havilah is a best-selling author, community leader, public speaker, all-around awesome human being. When we connected during New Orleans Entrepreneur Week, you shared with me and you actually gave me a copy, an autographed copy of your most recent work that you've done with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. And it's a book that I shared and was able to walk through with my son, who's 6 years old, and the principles in it are so powerful. If you speak to a moment about that project and your experience working on that book.
Talk about fueling the future and being able to give kids the best foundation for success. So Napoleon Hill, who was really a reporter, who was given an assignment to go interview Andrew Carnegie, who's one of the most successful people of the time. And in that process, Andrew Carnegie kind of gave him a challenge. And he was like, I want you to create a philosophy for success. And he took on that challenge. And it took him 20 years of his life. He interviewed over 500 of the most successful people: Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, President Roosevelt, President Woodrow Wilson, Wrigley Wright. I mean, people who created the system in which we live in today, the innovators, the entrepreneurs who were the most successful. And he was able to boil down what they did differently, how they were able to achieve what they were able to achieve, down to 17 principles. And so now that information was available in the book Think and Grow Rich, which is one of the top 10 best-selling books of all time. And now for the first time in history, so I've actually worked with the Napoleon Hill Foundation to take those 17 principles and put them into children's form for them to be able to get that as a foundation now.
When Havilah faces adversity, how do you bounce back from those pits?
That's a great question. Because I get upset, I get discouraged, I get, tired and frustrated and, aggravated and everything that everybody else goes through. I just don't stay there. And I have found different tools or techniques that help me through those hard times. One of which, I have my place. That place that I go to that I can help get grounded, that I can start to relieve the stress and let go, and that's at the lake. I will go to the lake and I will start walking, and where they have the sun and the water and those waves are crashing and being in nature, there's something divine about that for me that kind of brings me back to a place of home.
When I ask you about an accomplishment that is very meaningful to you on this journey, can you share a story?
Ooh, this was a biggie for me. I grew up where the chart was kind of put before me. The path was this is what you believe, this is what you do, this is who you become, go do it.
Yeah.
Which is great, but it wasn't quite who I was, And when I started, it was in 2012. Hewlett Packard had gone through this huge shift in their business. Our entire organization ended up getting laid off. I'm in this position where it's okay, now what? This is my comfort zone, this is what I've known, but I'm not really fully happy doing this. I'm not really fulfilled in doing this. So I think here's an opportunity for me to figure out who I am and what I really want out of life so I can be happy. because everybody's like, you better not leave that good job, like you better not, you know, do this or that. And I went on this self-development journey. I literally took 2 years and was just like, I'm gonna figure out who I am and what I want. So like that battle between sticking to what my foundation was or taking the leap into the unknown, into the scary, into what was drawing me, that internal guidance that was drawing me to discover and unleash who I was one of the best things I could have ever done. And it was hard, it took years, but it was worth it.
Transition gears to a question that I ask every guest on the Magic Hour, which is if Havilah Malone today was in front of 200 college students, specifically their campus ambassadors, what's your one lasting piece of advice to leave these students who are making a big difference in the prospective students' lives that they're touring on that maybe hour that they have with them?
You're gonna be faced with so many choices and decisions in life. Make sure that the decisions that you make are yours and not somebody else's. We all have been given this gift called life. And everybody, even the ones who love you, want the best for you. And so they may try to lead you down a path, but it's based on their understanding, their knowledge, their experience, their limiting beliefs or expanded beliefs. You have to find your own way. No two snowflakes are alike, neither are two people alike. So trust the process, and even in the pain, there's beauty that can come out of it. Just keep going and decide for yourself what you want this life to be. And you can make it.
I have no doubt with your enthusiasm, with the principles you shared on this interview, embodied and manifested in who you are, it's going to be nothing but an amazing journey. Awesome. And I close every episode with very special leaf kind of takeaway. And you see the ones that I'm wearing, but everybody on the show leaves with a pair of their own glass beads as a sign of paying it forward, of this happiness and success and this good luck of 2017. And it all started during Mardi Gras, but I would love to pay it forward and have you have your own set of glass beads.
I love it. I love it.
And thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
This has been
Ooh.
wonderful.
This has been awesome.